in Blue Mountain for the next couple days because I'm at the Blue Mountain Film Festival, the inaugural first ever Blue Mountain Film Festival. And tonight is the opening night film and opening party, which is Slashback, this amazing looking indigenous horror film. So I'm going to be here checking out stuff for a few days, and I can't wait to re-explore Blue Mountain because it's been a couple years since we've been here, and I have to admit I love the Ridge Rider ride that goes down the mountain, but I'm going to try and get out on a few hikes and check out some of the food and some of the other stuff. So it's a cool opportunity to see some films and also get out and explore. So here we go.
Good evening, everybody. It is the opening night of the inaugural Blue Mountain Film Festival. And we are absolutely thrilled that you're here with us to celebrate this occasion. A lot of work has gone into this. Many, many people involved. As they say, it takes a village.
Arna Dishnakas, Anishinaabe, Kay Ashkenazi, Makunigodem, Toronto Donjiba, Georgian Bayenda. Good evening, my name is Tamara, and I am Anishinaabe and Ashkenazi from Toronto. I now live on Georgian Bay. And I am a member of the advisory committee for Blue Mountain Film Festival, and I've been given the honor of offering a land acknowledgement.
Thank you so much for coming. Tatiana and I are really happy to have been invited to be here. I've actually only been to Blue Mountain in the winter time, and so we're just so excited to have a couple of days here to watch some really great movies, hang out with some people, which is really exciting. We shot the movie in this really special community of Kang, which is at kind of the top of the world in this really remote Arctic community. It's a place that's close to my heart. I filmed there when I was in college.
It's so overwhelming to me that this incredible project that we worked so hard for 2 months on has finally been brought out, and you guys are able to see it. We're all the rest of the girls, Nalajas, Chelsea, and Alexis. We're all just so incredibly happy that this has become reality. So enjoy the film.
Jane is one of the most celebrated sound editors in the business. She's had over 150 awards and nominations, including numerous Genies and Geminis and DGC awards, Canadian Screen Guild awards, and many, many others, as well as Emmy nominations. And she has just done a ton of work, and also has worked extensively with Sheila Hawken. Hi, Sheila. And Sheila Hawken is the executive producer on many TV series. In Canada, there are a ton of Canadian series, but also Canada, as you probably all know, does a lot of service work as well. And Sheila is, I believe, the top service executive producer in Canada, working on shows like The Vikings, The Borgias, Penny Dreadful, Handmaid's Tale. She's an Emmy Award-winning executive producer. Please join me in a very warm welcome for our panelist, Sheila and Jane.
On television series, what we always do, I carry the project through into post, through picture editing and everything, and then we sit down with the whole sound team once an episode is complete, And we play the whole episode through. The dialogue editors have usually cleaned up the dialogue by then, so we know what we have to loop in ADR, what's technically not gonna work for us. And then we talk through every single scene, what the tone of the scene is, emotionally what we're going for, what we thought the soundscape should roughly be. And they're very rich conversations creatively. There's maybe 15 or 20 people on them, the whole sound team. And we throw ideas back and forth about how to bring that scene to its fullest, whatever that word would be. They're really extremely creative. We have a really great time in those sound spotting sessions, and then everybody goes away on Jane's team and they do their own work and they bring their own work to the mixing stage. And then what happens?
So the mixers mix everything together in the way that it seems suitable to them. Sometimes there's a sound editor presence, but not always. And then we all get together and you see it as a whole, and then you just realize that it needs more shaping. You don't just put everything in that they've given you because it just be too much sound. You need to steer the audience to know what they should be paying attention to. So you might want to well, of course the dialogue has to be audible. If you lose the words, then you lose your audience. But it needs to be supported with ambiances and sometimes music and the actual natural sound that might be in place, a door or traffic or car pass bys, whatever. And so then it gets shaped. But to me, the most interesting thing is that I might go in and I might shape it to where I think it sounds fantastic. And then Sheila comes in and she looks at it from her point of view, which is she's just got such a strong sense of storytelling and sound. And so you'll come in and have further ideas.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things actually to listen to. I mean, there are hundreds of tracks sometimes, and the mixers have had to make choices based on conversations we had when we were spotting, just their instincts. And then when you sit back and look at it all and you start playing with the sound, sound and music have an enormous impact on how the audience receives a film or a television episode.
Halo is when Brendan Mercer started taking on more responsibility on the show. He said, Jane, when you told me at the beginning of the show, every sound was going to have to be made, I didn't really understand what you meant, but now I get it. Every single sound, there's nothing in it that is a real sound, because it's a whole other world. So that's a lot of work.
And the complication, if I can just add with Halo, is that the game has its own sound design. And most of us went to Seattle and nerded out with all the 343 people and talked to their audio teams. And it was super interesting because for a game, their requirements of their audio were different than our requirements for making a drama, because they had to be sure that any sound associated with a ship or a gun or a footstep was pretty distinct, because people keep moving on in the game, and also that it wouldn't get incredibly irritating if people went into a loop and decided to do the same thing over and over again. So having talked to them, there were canon sounds that came to us, like what certain spaceships sound like, but we couldn't use any of them without working with them because they don't work in a dramatic world.
My name is Nyla Bishop. I'm a filmmaker, a professional nerd. I love interactive stuff, VR, AR. I love horror and sci-fi, and I'm so happy to be here to share Flashback, which is a coming-of-age horror action adventure. We had our premiere at South by Southwest in March and are just in the process of starting to get our movie out there. It was this really kind of crazy and ambitious project, first feature, working with a group of really amazing young actors who've never acted before. And so I felt like we learned a million lessons a day. It was, but it was such a crazy learning experience for all of us. And also there is like a pride from coming from a place, and even with Tatiana. She was like a little bit nervous when she was like, oh, I'm gonna have to play a girl from Hank, but I play them in hockey all the time. It was like, there's like this sort of like rivalry, like the Hank hockey team and the Elliott hockey team.
So actually, I was really interested in another Arctic film called The Grizzlies. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but yeah, it was really interesting for me. I had never seen an Arctic film growing up or people like being on the screen, so it was really, really amazing to see that. And I told my mom that I was really interested in being a part of like another film set in the north where I'm from. So when she saw that there were casting calls for they were looking for teen girls for an alien invasion movie, I was just so excited. I thought I did it perfectly. So I was in 8th grade at the time, and me and my friend Chelsea, who actually got the part as well, we bused to the casting calls right after school, and we read the script and did a few scenes with the rest of the girls that auditioned, and that's where I met Nyla actually. Yeah, and then since then I fell in love with the script, and I got to play around with different characters. I was actually originally supposed to play Loki, who's Nala Jackson's role, but there was a few change-ups really last minute, so I ended up playing Micah, which I think it worked out perfectly.
So I should say that the casting change happened the day before we flew out, essentially, and so she got the script with the new, like she got her new character a week before we started filming. Wow. So I had memorized all of Uchi's lines, and I was completely ready to play her character. They had my costume and my measurements for Uki, and then there was a quick change up last minute, so we had to ship up different sizes for Micah's costume. I had to learn completely different lines, a completely different character, and this was a few days before filming, which was a little difficult.
Day 2 of the Blue Mountain Film Festival has been pretty awesome. I haven't seen a film until now. I'm about to see Navalny, about the Russian opponent to Vladimir Putin, who was poisoned. He's got quite a story. Anyway, I've seen some really cool stuff today, though. There was the conference sessions today for industry, and they were amazing. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening here. I'm really enjoying Blue Mountain Film Festival. Not the least of which because it's such a beautiful spot.
Called Into the Forest, which has really inspired this hike, and we are going to be led into the forest by our fabulous guide, Chris. Who hasn't done this before either, so we're in good hands. Yeah, excellent. And also the idea is that along the way, once we, maybe feel a little petered out, we might take a little break and hear some behind-the-scenes stories from Patricia about some of the films.
Daniel Grant, who was the cinematographer on it, wonderful man, and we had a very similar work ethic and aesthetic around how much to prepare and how much to be open to. So we would have a storyboard every day, but then, God, the light's so much better over here, so we just change it all sometimes. I would say 80% of the time we went with it, but so those action sequences are just like, a series of little suggestions.
Okay, we're hiking to the top of Blue Mountain. So we're hiking all the way to the top, and we're taking the gondola back down. And it is really cool talking about film and kind of wandering around up here. But come on, look at the views.
Thanks very much. first conceived of this event, we imagined this venue being a big part of it, and our outdoor venues and our conference facility, and we really thought of it as a way to kind of raise our profile in what we see in Toronto as a big, burgeoning, growing industry with all kinds of creativity, and we wanted to be part of that. And we're thinking room nights and locations and all kinds of things. But since then, on opening night, I shed a tear. I got angry. I managed not to wet my pants during the opening movie. And since then, I've been to Johannesburg and Bolivia, and I saw Marnie's parents running a llama farm in Bolivia. Been to Johannesburg, just got back from Albania, and I can tell you, it's a really moving experience. And I hope to see you guys all next year. This is the first one, and I hope it's going well. I'm super excited to have you guys on.
So, without further ado, I would like to present the Blue Mountain Emerging Filmmaker Award to the beautiful creative mind behind Slashback, Nyla Edwards.
Between the industry sessions that I've been seeing at the Blue Mountain Film Festival, I also had the chance to see, three films that I just am blown away by. The first one was The Phantom of the Open, which is this amazing comedy drama. It's just the most compelling story, and based on a real-life man who basically snuck his way into the British Open to play golf, and had never played golf before. It was so funny, so sweet, so well done. And then I also saw Carmen. So Carmen is about this woman who is taking care of her brother who runs a church. And when he passes away, she's kind of thrown to the wind. And so it's her story of kind of finding herself, proving herself to the community, and it's a great story, and it's great to see Malta, as someone said at the screening, Malta as Malta, since Malta tends to stand in for other places so often. But it's a great story. It's so well told, and yeah, great performances, just very cool, especially since it's a Canadian co-production. And then I saw Navalny, which is this documentary about the opponent to Vladimir Putin in Russia, a man who wants to become the leader of the country. And obviously in a country like Russia where, freedoms are very limited, and when you have an oppressor who runs a country and he doesn't want a new leader, the film goes through his last few years, and it's astonishing. It's so well told, but on top of that, the story is remarkable. Navalny has done so much to try and become a leader. He's got such a following that he was poisoned, and it's probably a bit of luck that he even survived. So this film delves into that, and there's one scene where he actually gets to call someone who was involved in the poisoning and pretends he's someone else, and the details he gets out of that man, it's remarkable. So yeah, Navalny was my favorite by far, only because it's such a remarkable story, and the footage they have and the details they get to share, it's crazy. So yeah, so Blue Mountain Film Festival, great lineup of films. I'm only sorry I didn't get to see a few more films, but balancing with the industry portion of the event, I've been pretty busy.
globally renowned musician who was revered by artists like Bruce Springsteen and Elvis Costello, and is also considered as a peer and an inspiration to many musicians around the world. Please join me in a very warm welcome for Ron Sexton.
I know it won't last for long. Well, take it from a friend who's been around. Soon you'll make it to the end, I know, where new beginnings can be found.
The festival has been really surprising just because, like, there was a hike today up to the top of the hill, which, I mean, you don't hear about at film festivals very often. And it was an amazing hike, and like, the films have been so good, and the community and the people here. I mean, really, the community, the people, the place, that's what makes a great film festival. So between that and the films, like, yeah, I'm very excited already about the idea of coming back for, you know, the Blue Mountain Film Festival in 2023. So yeah, I have to say thank you to everyone who made this possible. Thank you for the invite from Blue Mountain Film Festival, the hospitality from Blue Mountain in general, from the resort, from the village. It's been great checking everything out. And thank you to everyone who made that happen. It was wonderful meeting the different directors, the producers, the writers, the other media here. And thank you for watching.